Oh. Oh. Is it working? Oh, Jesus. Is it working? Yes, connected. I am not a technology person. And apparently I have commitment issues because I made one video. But, hey y'all. Okay, so I made one video saying I wanted to be a YouTuber, and that was my May wrap up. And now it's 2 days after Beyonce's birthday. It's probably gonna be 3 days after Beyonce's birthday by the time y'all see this. And I made no video. So, in the spirit of fall, because it's fall as soon as September hits, I got on a flannel. I got my candle. Y'all don't care nothing about none of this, but I got my candle, Crystal Waters. And I got my coffee that got my hot chocolate in it. That's good. So I decided to not skip any months and to just tell you all what I read all summer. So I read in June, July, and August, I read, what's 19 plus 18? 35? 35, that's good. That's good. So I read 35 books this summer. Audiobook is saving my life because I be trying to zone out at work. Like, I do not be trying to help people even though that's my job. So I wrote them all down because I support my local library until I want to commit to the book, commit to owning the book. I support my local library. And then if I'm gonna commit to the book, then I'm gonna support my local bookstore. Do it, guys. Okay, so I wrote down all the books and I'm just gonna put the picture of the book. I'm not Vanna White, y'all. Here. I'll figure out how to do that. And I'm just gonna be really brief with what I read. I will link my Goodreads down below because I do give like a brief non-spoiler type of this is how this book made me feel type of review. So if you're interested in any of those, and I'll put a timestamp because it's 35 books and I don't expect you to watch all of this if you're looking for a particular book. I don't know what you're into. I know how I do things as a YouTube watcher, so I don't know. All right, first list. It's June. Oh my gosh. I read 10 books, and the first book I read was Queen Charlotte. I was really into like a Bridgerton thing for like 2 seconds. But I'm really into reading the book before I watch like the movie or the show or whatever. So I was like really excited to watch Bridgerton on the thing when the whole Queen Charlotte thing was coming out. Ask me if I watched it. But I'm going to, because it's fall now. Now I get to be in the house, cozy, flannels, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is not what I said. I read Queen Charlotte by Julia Quinn. I gave it a 5. I was thoroughly just engrossed in the story. Had me laughing when I was reading it and listening to it in public. Like, listen, sorrows, prayers. Like, that's my life's motto. Second book I read in June was Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. I gave it a 5. I, again, loved the story. Loved Donis. Like, just wanted to like hug Donis and protect her. So that's all I'll say. Third book, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Listen, I know a lot of people go crazy over Colleen Hoover, but I go crazy over Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like that shit, that's we homies. Oh my God, this was the I think the second book I read by TJR, and I gave it a 4. And for me, like 4 and 5 is like, they're like pretty much neck and neck. I probably could have gave this a 5 actually. I just like really enjoyed it. Evelyn crazy. And I read it during obviously June's Pride Month. And it's also Caribbean Heritage Month. Shout out to those of us who got at least a drop of Caribbean blood in us. And Evelyn was Cuban, so good job. That's me too. Anyway, a little bit. So anyway, give it a 4. Next book, How Not to Drown in a Glass of Water. Bro, love Angie Cruz. That was the second book I read by her. Fully engrossed in the story. Like, love her writing, love it all, love everything about it. Gave it a 5. Go read it. Next book I read was actually with a buddy read that we read in April, but some people kind of paused it. Some people, I don't know what they was doing, but like the buddy read like kind of just like paused the book. And then I paused the book. And then I said, you know what? I actually was enjoying the book. Let me pick it back up. But why would I pick that up during June when Juneteenth was coming up? But listen, River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. Gave it a 4. Very well written. It was a great historical fiction. I just get mad when I think about history. Like, the more I learn about history, the more I just want to start the revolution. You feel me? Next book was The Social Climber by Amanda Pellegrino. I gave it a 4. Okay, first of all, guys, like, I go into books like blind. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what it's about. Like, if the cover is amazing, especially if it's like a newer book, like by like a newer author, not like a classic or something like that, but if it's something by like a newer author and the cover is pretty, I'm gonna pick it up. Literally, I have like, and that's one reason I don't have the books for y'all today. I literally have the max amount of books that you could check out at the library. And like, I just picked the book up because it was pretty. And that's why I picked up half of the books that I have, because the covers were pretty. But anyway, the cover was intriguing. The story grabbed my attention. The plot twist at the end, love it. Love everything about it. Love it. Gave it a 4. Love Radio. Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. Love it. Gave it a 4. Love teenagers sometimes. Like, they're like complicated individuals, you know what I mean? Like, they're like not kids, but they're not grown, but they think they grown, but then you try to kick them out the house and they be like, oh, I need some money, and it's like, go get a job. Oh, you actually need me? Okay, I've never went through that. But anyway, love it. The teenagers, they were so cute. Oh my God, the whole relationship is just so cute. And then a relationship that the girl had, like, that both of the teenagers had with the adults that were in there. Oh my God, loved it. Give it a 4. Open Water. Listen, Open Water was amazing. It's by Caleb Azumah Nelson. It's by Caleb. I loved it. I loved like the poeticness of it. I just loved it. I'm not gonna make this super long because we still have 2 more months to go through. Next book was The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Loved it. I had started this book in 2022, I believe. And I think I just wasn't in a good place to be reading it, so I paused it. I don't like to like DNF books. I paused it because I knew I didn't want to read it. So I picked it back up, and oh my God, like, I knew that like passing was like a thing, but like it was like legit a thing. Like, that's crazy. And it's still a thing, I guess, but like a legit thing to like stay alive. That's crazy. Anyway, but like not even to stay alive, because that's not what she was doing. It doesn't matter. Go read the book. All right, the last book I read in June was with a buddy read. It was with my like little Instagram buddy read, the same buddy read that paused Reverencing Me Home. And we read Time's Undoing by Cheryl Head. Loved it, gave it a 4. Like, obviously, like, I don't really like, let's just pause for the call. Pause for the cause. I don't know how to do pause. I will not force myself to read a book if I'm not into it. Like, I'll pause it, maybe I'm not in the mood for it, but like, if it's not something that I just like love and am loving everything about, I'm not gonna force myself to read it. You know how many books are in the world and like that just need to be read, and I don't know how much time I have on this earth. I need to get through as many books as I can. So we're not wasting time. But I loved it. Boop. Okay, in July, I read 9 books. Boop. I went down a little bit, but that's fine, just by one. So first book on the list is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. Gave it a 4. I read that book with a book club in my city, and I was really excited to read it because I'm trying to get into like the more fantastical world, I guess. I loved it. It had like, the whole book was like basically like a mystery, but it was like, it was cool. I loved it. Gave it a 4. Oh God, guys, oh my God, I hope I don't sound like nasally. That's so sick. Okay, next book I read was Help Is on the Way. Hold on, I can't see, it's a really long title. Help Is on the Way, Stay Up and Live Your Truth by Country Wayne. He is hilarious. Like, so I had to read this book. As soon as I saw that he was coming out with a book, I put it on my TBR and I was perusing the shelves of my local library, and I saw it in the new section. I snatched that mug. So it was really good. I gave it, what did I give it? Oh, I give all, like, okay, so if you didn't watch my last video, I highly encourage you to do so. Or if you don't follow me on Instagram, which I also highly encourage you to do, and I will follow you back. I rate all like memoirs a 5 because it's that person's life, and especially like I love to do audiobooks with it, so it's that person's life. How I'm gonna tell them that their life is trash, or the way that they're telling their story is trash. We can't do that. And I wouldn't want to do that to Country Wayne anyway, because the book was hilarious. He read it, so it was even more like his country twang. Like, I just loved everything about it. Next book, and all up in the camera, was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Yarros, that's how we're gonna go with it. If that's not how you say it, I'm gonna learn how to say it, and I'll correct myself next time. But loved it. I saw it hyped up on like everywhere, like TikTok, Instagram, like everywhere, and I was like, okay, like I really want to get this. I ended up getting a skip the line copy through Libby. Shout out to Libby. And I also got the audiobook, so I had like the ebook and the audiobook. It was great. I'm learning that my attention span, especially as I've gotten older and technology has kind of taken over, that my attention span is not where I think it should be. I get very bored, and I feel like I shouldn't be like that because I'm an older millennial, and I'm used to going outside, like playing in the dirt, like not at my big age, but like I did not grow up with technology. Like when Al Gore's internet first came out, it was dial-up. Like my mom would be like, "Hey, yo, get off the computer. All right, I'll call somebody." Like, so fantasy is really helping me like with my attention span, because the books tend to be long and I gotta stay focused. So that has nothing to do with Fourth Wing, but I gave it a 4. It was great. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Y'all, read this with a buddy read as well on the gram. Y'all need to get on these buddy reads on the gram. Listen, honey, when I tell you I wanted to reach into the book, pull her out of the book, and shake her up. But it was well written. I loved it. Boom. Gave it a 4. Next book, Pride and Protest by Nikki Payne. A lot of the reviews or like critiques said that this book was like a play off of Pride and Prejudice. Couldn't tell you, never read it, never watched it. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I read this with a buddy read as well on, obviously the book club has an Instagram. That's how I found it. But it was on, I forgot what the app is called. But found it on there. And it was good. It was good. I gave it a 4. Next is Getting Schooled by Christina C. Jones. Love Christina C. Jones. Like, when I just want to like just be on a couch with my blanket and some coffee or some tea and just want to like get into like a good like cutesy, easy to read Black love story, listen, I'm dialing up Christina C. Jones. Like, I love her. I gave it a 4. This next book, I love this woman. She is hilarious. Like, she may or may not be on my stand list, and my stand list is very short. But I just love her. So I read her, I believe this is her first book. Are You There, Vodka? It's Me, Chelsea. Chelsea Handler, hilarious, love her, gave it a 5. Was cracking up the whole time. Like, so many quotable moments. I just love it. All right. Second to last for July was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Gave it a 4. Oh my God. Guys, I remember the vibes. Like, because I don't even know what I wore to work Tuesday. Like, I don't even know what I wore to work. But I remember the vibes. I loved it. I love their little fake dating. It's a fake dating trope, and okay, I'm being weird now. All right, last book I read in July was One Summer in Savannah. Oh my God. Oh my God. It got a little weird for me because I was like, where are we going with this? With this line of lining? Like what are we doing? But I was like, all right, cool. Like, things happen. Like, just be life. Like, life be life. But oh my God, so well written. I believe this is sorry, the author's name is Tara Shelton Harris. I believe this is her debut novel. Beautifully written. Like, loved it. I was engrossed the whole time. Like, the story captivated me. Like, loved it. And I give it a 5. All right. August, I went off. I don't know what came over me, but I went off in August. I read 18 books. Who even am I? Oh, anyway, I read 18 books, so let's go. So, first book I finished, because I started this in July, but I finished it in August. Unprotected by Billy Porter. I didn't realize how much I didn't know about Billy Porter until I read his book. And the man is a whole, like, he's a vibe, like, he's a whole legend. I didn't know Billy Porter was a legend. I said I was gonna keep this short. Gave it a 5. Obviously, it's a memoir. Second book, Bring On the Blessings by Beverly Jenkins. I gave it a 4. I enjoyed it. It was a little unrealistic, but I felt the vibes. The vibes were vibing, okay? Third book, Black Nerd Problems. I am a self-proclaimed black nerd, and I'm trying to be into all things, oh my God, I'm trying to be into all things nerdy. So I had to pick it up, saw it at my local library, obviously. Written by best friends William Evans and Omar Holman. I gave it a 5. Next book was obviously August. It's the birth month of hip hop, 50 years of hip hop. My intent was to read more memoirs and books about hip hop, but it didn't happen. But that's all right. Anyway, first memoir by a hip hop artist or by a rapper was My Infamous Life by Prodigy. Oh my God, R.I.P. to Prodigy. Half of the like monstrous group Mobb Deep from New York. So I gave it a 5, obviously. R.I.P. to Prodigy. I read Share My Life by the singer Kim. Very not hip hop, but it doesn't matter. I wanted to read the book. And I gave it a 5. I love Kim's music. Oh my God, I've been listening to it since I was like a teenager. And I know I look like a teenager, but I'm not. I'm actually old. It's fine. Gave it a 5, obviously. Next book, Token by Beverly Kendall. Gave it a 4. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be about, but I really, really enjoyed it. Don't Cry for Me by Daniel Black. I gave it a 4. I feel like this might be like a 4.5, more so leaning towards like a 5. I don't know. I might end up changing my rating for that. Next book was Their Vicious Games by Joelle Wellington. I read this with a buddy. It was a buddy read. Oh my God. People said it's compared to like Squid Games and like something else. I never watched Squid Games. Is it Squid Game or Squid Games? I don't know. But I never watched it. But it had my attention. I gave it a 4. Beach Read. This is my second Emily Henry book. I gave it a 4. I love her writing. Like, I'm about to be a whole fan. Okay. Next book I actually had picked up and was reading on my own, and then my IG buddy read group, well, one of them, now I'm in like 4, maybe not 4, maybe like 2 or 3, but we ended up voting for it. So I was like, perfect, bruh, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, you feel me? The Thing About Home by Rhonda McKnight. And I feel like this is like the 4th book I've read about the Low Country, and I'm like, is God telling me I need to go take a trip down to South Carolina? I don't understand. I gave it a 5 because Nigel is my book boyfriend, and that's that on that. This next book, I ended up meeting the author. I was so excited. He's doing a book tour. I'm not gonna tell y'all where I am, but he did a book tour, and I got my book signed. I'm so excited to read more of his work. I read The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. Everybody has been fiending for that book, and I ended up grabbing it off of the shelf at the library. I had it reserved, and I grabbed it off of the shelf, and I canceled my reservation for my book, and then I ended up getting the ebook and the audio, and it was amazing. I gave it a 4. It was amazing. Then I read All I Wanted, All I Needed by A.E. Valdez. First book by her. Absolutely loved it. I had put it on my TBR maybe last year or late 2021, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get to it. It ended up being a buddy read, but I think they paused it. I don't know. Yeah, it was a few months ago. We had paused it and picked up another book, but I picked it back up, and I got through that book it was so fast but so slow, because I was trying to drag it out, because I just like fell in love with the characters, fell in love with the story, and I just did not want it to end. So I gave it a 5, guys. It was so cute. The Merciless Ones. Yeah, I said that. The Merciless Ones. Namina Forna. Miss Ma'am. I love her. Like, she might be on my, like, if I do like a list of like stan authors, she can do no wrong, my G. And I can't wait for the third book, the final installment of this series to come out. Oh my God, 2024. Go check our own page. I'm not gonna like give you all the plug. Oh, love this book. Gave it a 5. Love the series. Give this series a 5, my G. Next book, Life Lessons from Hip Hop. It was like a cute little quick read. I was like, because this is getting towards the end of the month, and I'm like, bro, I read like one book about hip hop, bro. Like, what am I doing? So I picked that up. It was really, really good. It was like a kind of like an interview, where the author kind of like pieced together his interviews from like radio personalities and rappers and producers and all these kind of people, like just over the years, and he kind of like pieced them together. It was really, really good. I gave it a 4. I read, this was with a buddy read at one point, and for some reason I could not get with it when we were reading it. So I paused the book, and then I was like, you know what, let me pick it back up. Like, maybe it was me. And it was me. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle. Oh, I'm sorry. Life, bro, what is happening? Life Lessons from Hip Hop was compiled by Grant Brighton. Okay, back to it. Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. It's by Gabrielle Zevin. Loved it. Like, loved it. Gave it a 4. 3 more books, guys. I promise. I'm almost done. 3. Okay. Speaking of 3 Kings. Sorry, I don't know what that was. 3 Kings. Diddy, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and hip hop's multi-billion-dollar rise. Very long title. If you don't like those 3, now listen. Some of them be doing some questionable things, but you cannot take away what these men have done for hip hop, what they have done for music, for the culture, for just like for alcohol, for clothes, for it's a vibe. But I gave the book a 4. ACOTAR. Is that how you say that? Listen. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Seen this hyped up so much. In my book club chat for my city, like the one in city, we like talk about other books all the time, but then we have an app where we're talking about that specific book. Everybody, oh my God, you have to read this. You have to read this. If you're trying to get into fantasy, you have to read this. I'm like, all right, y'all. That might be on to something. I gave it a 4. Okay, so listen. I did the audio and like the physical. I ain't gonna front. I did mostly audio, like all of it basically, because I was so addicted to it. I read that book in like 4 days. And the only reason it probably took me 4 days was because work. Like, if I didn't have to work, I probably would have finished that book in like 2 days. Like, honestly, like, grabs me. Gave it a 4. Last but not least, I read this with a buddy read in town. I don't want to call it a book club because it just started and it was just like a small amount of people. But we read 1984 by, ACOTAR is by Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas. 1984, though, is written by George Orwell. And I gave it a 4. It was a really good book. And I wasn't scared. I feel like if I would have read this book in like the 70s, before like the internet, I feel like I would have been more like nervous about the future. But like literally there's cameras everywhere. Like the government is listening to us right now. But we still got freedom of speech, so it don't matter. Listen, so those were all the books I read this summer. I think it equals out to 35. Listen, y'all, I'm smart, but math, that was country. Me and math. Listen, me and math, I think that's 35. I probably should have counted before. But anyway, those were all the books that I read this summer. I am going to do better with my September. video. I have a lot of books. I'll probably post like a short, that's what it's called on YouTube. I'll probably post a short or put it like in a community, do a picture of the books that I would like to read this month. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Follow me. I'm gonna put the timestamp like in the video and down below. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do all the things. Follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna follow you back. Go check out my other video. If you have a booktube, let me know. If you have a book talk, let me know. If you got a bookstagram, let me know. Like all the things. If you got merch, I'll buy it from you. Let me know. Peace.